9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
EGIF, thank God it's Friday, and welcome to WWT Live as part of Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. I am the guy they call the Professor. I think that's who I am. And I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day. Listen, we've got a jam-packed show lined up for you where we're talking about, obviously, SmackDown. It's the eve of Full Gear, and it's the end of an era, or at least we found out about that. We'll get into all of that in a little bit, but I am not alone. And the great words of Michael Jackson, they are here with me. First up, she is doing all good things SmackDown watch long. It's Friday. It only makes sense.
It's the Queen Bee of WWT, Wrestling with Honey with
Honey Pop Predictions. You are not alone.
There it is.
I am here with you.
And she does it on key. I like that. You know, not many people can just do that on key. So I'm very, very proud. So you actually do sing. The people don't know.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely.
Oh, you're telling me that was luck?
Only in the shower. Only in the shower singing. No.
Okay. How was your day?
It was great. Fantastic day.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Well, we'll get into story time in a little bit.
Oh,
but
yes, Friday.
We're also joined by, I'm really digging this guy. He loves the kids. He loves the college babies. He loves video games.
It's Dion from at All Star Fandom.
Quite frankly, you need to go back to the drawing board because your game absolutely sucks.
Hey.
What's going on, good brother?
I have to.
I love it.
We're doing good over here, man. Just again, brightest day. The brightest thing about my day, my Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays is this. So this is really dope to just talk about this. So again, happy to be here.
That is too cool. That is way too cool. It is good to be here. And of course, he's been burning up the streets. If you guys were here Wednesday, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The socials are still talking about what this man
It's Councilman Pharaoh of Strattonville with his Parisiac constituents.
It's Courtney's laughing, man.
It's
Courtney laughing too. It's great.
It's the laugh. Oh my gosh. He set the world on fire. The councilman is here. Councilman, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm like Dion, man. As soon as I see 3 o'clock, I'm like, well, it's time for us to go have some fun.
Here we go.
Indeed. And fun it is for sure. The people are in the chat. Dylan, good to see you all the way joining us from Saturday. I love that. Bobby, good to see you. Eric, good to see you. Pat Chu, welcome aboard. And he says you can sing. I believe it because, again, the random people just don't come in on key on any song, let alone a Michael Jackson.
Well, listen, it's Michael Jackson. I ain't gonna mess nothing Michael Jackson up. And being, I guess it comes from being a former dancer / choreographer, dance teacher, and all of that stuff. You know, musicality of it all. I've always been around music.
I recognize connection and familiarity with music when I see it. I absolutely do. Jeffrey, good to see you. JD has been back in the chat, man. It's good to have you back, buddy.
Real quick, speaking of new music, Kendrick.
I almost named the show after the new album, but I was wondering, is it too soon? Will people get it yet? But rest assured, there will be Kendrick references coming soon and very soon. Have no fear. Yeah, he dropped the whole secret album on us today. And I was like, wait, what?
Hello.
But
Happy
that's how
Friday.
Kendrick does things. Happy Friday indeed. And Kendrick Friday LA. That means the on sale date for the first Raw on Netflix, which is
Great
taking place. Oh, well, thank you, sir. Takes place in LA at the brand new Intuit Dome. And I have not heard about how ticket sales are going, though. I have to imagine they are already going very well. Talk to me. I mean, we have talked about, obviously, this whole thing from when the deal was made, and we've had all kinds of speculations on 2 hours, 3 hours, etc. On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your level of excitement for the first Raw on Netflix at the top of 2025? Dion, we'll start with you.
I mean, I'm super excited. It's a whole. I think we used it this week. This is a whole new universe for WWE, or WWE is in another universe than other wrestling promotions. I think it's going to be a big one because obviously a lot of reports are saying Roman's going to be there. Well, we saw the graphics for it too, but he's going to be a big part of Netflix, and so is Cody too. So the possibilities are endless. I mean, The Rock, John Cena's first match is what I'm hoping for to kick off the year. I'm really upset with WWE sending me a text message today saying tickets are on sale, and I'm here in Atlanta.
Oh, they sent it everywhere.
I know, but I was like, turn on your locations or something, WWE. But
well, Dion, you might want to go as your New Year's gift. Absolutely.
I get it. I hear you.
I feel that, Dion. Honestly, I really do.
My New Year's gift, thankfully, is the go home show for Rumble because it's here in Atlanta.
Yes,
27th or so.
Yes,
so we're gonna be I'll be at that one. But for this first one, I mean, I'm expecting pay-per-view quality moments. Mm-hmm. I'm expecting a new presentation. I can't wait to see what the new set looks like. There's just so many possibilities with this Netflix deal that, like, this is a Raw that we've never seen before, and that's what I think we're going to get on January 6th. For sure. What are your thoughts, Councilman? How excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
10. I'm very extremely biased because this is in LA.
Are you going?
Real TK, I want to go. I've never asked for tickets to anything yet at all. This is my first ticket request, and I want to be in the house when they're on Netflix. I just want to hear them scream the real version of Seth when he goes out into the ring. Like, to now be able to hear the real version.
Will they though?
Well, that's the question. It's the question of will they
merch.
Remember that they are still marketing to kids. Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to put these clips up somewhere. But so I don't know that it's gonna go full board, rated R or whatever in terms of their language and content. They may sprinkle a thing here or there, but
that's all I need. That's all I need. Just that's why I just named that one. I don't need it throughout the show. I don't need everybody changing up their dialogue and stuff like that. I just need to hear that one and be a part of the audience when we say it.
Oh man,
I gotta be a part of it.
That's pure comedy. How about you, honey? Your thoughts, level 1 to 10 for the first Raw on Netflix.
I'm beyond 10 excited. This is going to be the first Raw of its kind in any way, shape, or form that we've seen in a long time. Like, I remember when, Monday Night Raw, there was a time where every couple years or every few years, they just upgrade the entrance, upgrade the intro song, and it just kept getting better and better and better and better throughout. And, they shout outs to Monday Night Raw for being able to keep such a consistent flow on USA Network for so long, to be able to, without that, they would have never been able to acquire a deal like this. And of course, this is something that is a necessity to all of us, and Netflix definitely capitalized on it. It's going to be big. I don't think it's going to, it's not going to, everything that Triple H does when it comes to, as he says in the press conferences, he always says that this is like, it's always a spectacle. And this one is going to feel like a brand new kind of spectacle on Raw with Netflix, and then all this, I can't even imagine the star-studdedness of it all. Final boss, John Cena, who knows what will be happening, because we'll be dealing with the aftermath of War Games around that time as well. So it's going to be It's gonna be so good. I can't wait.
So I'm gonna go ahead.
Elephant in the room, though. We got to address the elephant in the room,
which is
Netflix.
Well, I'm gonna. I know what you're saying, but I'm gonna answer that because that's come up a couple.
I'll pass to you, Professor.
That's come up a couple of times. I know Boza is mentioning it in the chat. I'm worried about the streaming issues. Remember the boxing fight. So I want to help some people when it comes to live streaming. The whole deal when it comes to live streaming is you have to have the bandwidth for a certain number of viewers in order for everybody to be able to tune in without there being a massive problem. I won't get into the technical aspects of it, but what I will say is this. I'll tell you what Triple H said. Triple H said, if we have buffering issues on night one, and it's the result of 60 million people showing up, I'll deal with that. And so what I think people have to understand is this, the Tyson fight last week was not Netflix's first foray into live event streaming. It's just the first one where 60 million people showed up. Okay. So they've done it for award shows. They've done it for comedy specials. They've done it for roasts, but obviously they didn't have 60 million people. And I don't want to bust anybody's bubble, but we have not yet had a streaming event or anything in the modern era that has had 60 million wrestling fans tune in. So with that said, if we get to that point, that's going to be major. The other thing to consider is between now and then, there are still a couple of major things happening on Netflix that they're going to be live streaming, particularly on Christmas Day. They're doing a double header for NFL games. Oh, and in that second NFL game, they've got this halftime show with this up-and-coming artist who's really striving to make a name for herself. I mean, if only she could get an opportunity, that would be Beyonce. So I think they're going to try to make sure that one of the biggest pop stars in the world will be straight before they go into this weekly situation. So I'm actually not worried about it. If we get to a space where we have 60 million fans, specifically in the US, who are in this, then we've got another situation. Dylan said, am I the only one who didn't have an issue watching the boxing? Well, let's address that, because I think we also have to understand that globally, not everyone is tuned in on the same server. Okay. There are certain things that happen in some countries that don't happen in others. For example, if you are in the US and you have a Netflix account, if you go to other countries, you may or may not be able to stream. I had that problem pretty regularly when I've gone to the Bahamas, Jamaica. I can't stream Netflix. I can't stream Hulu because they've got their own situation, and they still have Netflix and all those other things, but it's just something that you're not really able to access. So with that said, and that's an interesting segue into what we're going to move into next, I think most people in the States don't understand how certain things are different in other countries. And so that's why it's with a bit of a heavy heart that I share this next piece of news. And there's still a part of me that's kind of having a hard time coming to grips with saying it.
Same.
But the news that dropped today is that as of January 1st, 2025, the WWE network will be no more. Now, in the US, the WWE network was merged into this whole situation with Peacock back in 2021. But what most in the US may not realize is that the WWE network was still very much rocking as it was in other countries. Now, depending upon the country, some started migrating to Netflix with some of what they were doing. Some were still viewing on the WWE network, but this will be a full transition into Netflix. And so what will be really different for those who are outside of the US is it'll basically be the WWE network going to Netflix. A lot of those PLEs, previous Raws and SmackDowns, all of those specials will still now be on Netflix, but will no longer be on the WWE Network. So I want to have a conversation. The WWE Network launched in 2014, a game-changing moment, really was ahead of its time as it became the template for other sports having their own streaming network and then other wrestling organizations following. I want to get your thoughts on the six. Here's the question. Win, lose, or draw. The success of the WWE Network. Win, lose, or draw. Dion, we'll start with you.
That was a win. Like, granted, it had its issues at the beginning, but you're telling me I can pay how much a month? $9.99, I think it was, the t-shirts, right? I can pay this much for the entire WWE library. And I will say this, I think around the time before they jumped to Peacock, it was just that it was in like the perfect place. Searching capability was great. The user interface was perfect. It felt like, okay, this can develop and be even bigger. But then they sold it off to Peacock, and now we use Peacock for it. But definitely a game changer, man. Like, they tried their original content. The Legends House was hilarious. If you haven't seen it, that was a good time. But just being able to go back and watch like everything that I watched in the 90s, the Attitude Era, Nitro. And yeah, they progressively like added stuff as it went. It wasn't like everything on day one, but to have that capability was great. And the fact that I didn't need to order pay-per-views anymore. That was the biggest thing.
God. What?
That was the game changer for me, because I'm like, okay, growing up, I had to like make PowerPoint presentations to my dad about why we should watch this pay-per-view.
Yes.
Like I'm like, it's 6:00 Sunday Night Heat's on. I got an hour to close this deal.
Yes.
And I can go, but for this, tune in Sundays or Saturdays and I can watch it. It was the perfect thing for a wrestling fan. And it moved into digital to streaming when other things weren't at the time. Like, again, you talked about it being like a game changer for its time. No one was doing this. Like, streaming was relatively new to a degree.
Yeah.
But to come out the gate like that and say like, hey, we got you for $9.99. As a wrestling fan, I was like, you got me. $9.99. You can take it. Loved it. I kind of hope it ever comes. I hope it comes back in some capacity as their own network, because I do feel like they had to a point where it was perfect. It was easy to use.
Councilman, win, lose, or draw, the WWE Network.
Before I answer that, I also have a question.
Okay.
So, what does this do for us here? Like, can I still watch my PLEs on Peacock?
Yes, you will still be watching your. Yeah, for us, all that changes is Monday Night Raw going to Netflix in the United States. Everything else, as we currently know it, with the WWE Network on Peacock, will remain.
I ain't gonna lie, you kind of scared the shit out of me when you said this. I thought you was like, just going off of Peacock. Well, I was like, well, I'm gonna watch my PLEs now. I didn't go watch. Wait, what?
Now, well, carry on. I've got a thought, but yes, everything will remain as normal in 2025.
Okay, I'm sorry for the ones where it won't, but okay, August we are safe. That is good to know. But yes, to Dion's point, it is definitely a win. It was something that if you're a wrestling fan, especially WWE, it showed you the progression of like, yo, this stuff is here to stay. Especially if you went through like watching WCW like close its doors. Like, imagine if Vince didn't pick it up. Like, it would be so hard to go back and watch your favorite Monday Night Nitros or even like Thursday Thunder and to see like the highlights of the NWO. And then to the original stuff that they would have, like they documentaries like the Monday Night Wars. Even like creating content even for like legends to continue their legacy. Like, I love Table of Three. Like, conversations all the time. It was like, I was like, y'all are in y'all bag right now. It was just dope to see like all of these folks that we saw, that we idolize, get a chance to continue to do something and not just be, and there's no disrespect to it, but just only get the chance to show up at like comic conventions and sign articles. They actually get a chance to participate and do things. So I think it was great. Even again, like, You can't expect it to come out the gate just being perfect. I didn't have no problem with that. Just the fact of being able to scroll, do this, and see so much content right there. And I'm just like, yo, I can check out whatever I want at any time. Like, this was definitely a game changer, a terrific win for WWE.
Win, lose, or draw, the WWE Network, honey.
This is a total win. Like, hands down, total win. There was just so many things to enjoy about it. Considering all the old content that they created and versus the new things that they created as it progressed. Swerved, Table of Three, and ride-alongs were my thing. I loved Swerved and how they would just play like they were just big kids, just for the time being for those segments. Ride Along was really cool. Even the untold stories were also really interesting, and just seeing the history, the richness in the history of WWE, which is why I feel like it's something that'll never go away, which is why I'm not worried about this new deal that they have cut, with Netflix and, these new moves that they're making. They're just basically doing what it's always done, and that's adapting and evolving. And it's phenomenal. It's just so cool to be a part of it and just to witness it and be in this lifetime to witness it, because it's something that I thoroughly enjoyed watching since I was a child. And it's also a big win because it basically put all the VHS tapes that my dad recorded for all those years in one place for me. And without it, I wouldn't have found some things that, like when I went to my first Monday Night Raw with my dad on my show. I think I wore a t-shirt of it one time here on one of the shows. I was at a Monday Night Raw there and dressed like Bret Hart, and they caught me on TV for like 5 seconds.
Wow.
And I remember telling my friends about that when I was younger, and nobody gave a damn. And I was just like, you know what? Fine.
You got receipts.
Fine. There'll be a day.
Right.
And now honey got receipts.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Day one. This is just me, Oos. Day one-ish. Okay.
I love it. I love this comment from Special to Nobodies. He says, as a person that works in Hollywood and music and now production, WWE Network changed everything. I remember those times. All of a sudden, every company wanted a streaming service. And that was the lay of the land. Everybody. I mean, again, just trying to, well, here's a scary thought. Scary thought. It's 2024. The WWE Network launched 10 years ago. Saying it like that sounds different. Sounds and feels different. And I also have to remember that there are people who may have just joined the wrestling journey within the last 10 years. That is very, very possible. So, they may not be aware of what the wrestling economy was like prior to the WWE Network. I mean, you're talking pay-per-views, literally $40 or $50 a pop. So you literally, for what you paid in 1 year for the WWE Network, was the equivalent of maybe 2 pay-per-views.
Right.
And you got live content in addition to that incredible library. Honestly, nobody still has come up with a deal that is that good in this wrestling economy, because nobody has the library of the WWE. Nobody. I mean, think about it. They have obviously all of WWE, all of WCW. And then you start getting into the territories like the AWA and World Class and all of that. And you're like, wait, what? And then here's what's crazy. Because they own that WCW content and that older content, the NWA can't even go and grab some of the biggest moments that it had because it's owned by so they have to go to old NWA footage. So they don't even have captured, a Harley Race title change, a Ric Flair title. WWE's got it all, So it's incredible to see the depth of this library. And it was obviously the precursor to the streaming environment that we're in now for all of pro wrestling.
I'm sorry, go ahead. Finish.
No, and I think it's so incredible. Look at
this. This was the only way you could view content.
Now listen,
bro. Listen,
don't make me do it, because over in that corner, you guys can't see. I've got boxes of my DVD collection. Is ridiculous. I have to tell you this. My parents were amazing. They, for Christmas, got me the Wrestle. I have all of those. The WrestleMania anthology. Yeah. They got me the WrestleMania anthology, which at that time was like 20 to 25 WrestleManias all in one.
Oh my God.
Like, I made it it's pretty golly. We're gonna have to have a we're gonna have to do that. Because I got the things, man. So
that was also what I was going to add to what I was going to say. That was another thing that I really, really loved about the WWE network. Because not only would it have led to what we see as WWE as we know it today, but all the history and the things that happened before even I was born or we were born. And I was able to watch that and see how different things were, what they did, how they told the stories, what types of bodybuilds they were dealing with then, the women's, if there was anything, like I was just intrigued in the history of it too. Like to be able to learn from where wrestling started to where it is now. It's absolutely crazy.
That I think is the beautiful thing that we could not do when we were kids, which is be able to, if you wanted to learn about a certain wrestler or a certain promotion, you can now go back and watch it and watch the matches and it's like, whoa. So the WWE network changed wrestling as we know it. It also gave people the opportunity to become historians if they wanted to be. And I think it's also intriguing that the very first live event on WWE Network was NXT TakeOver. I just think that's incredible. It predated WrestleMania, and so that was it was just awesome. It was just awesome. And to think the first WrestleMania that was streamed live was WrestleMania 30.
Oh my God!
Wow, the Miracle on Bourbon,
and the streak being broken.
Yeah.
So it's just incredible to think all of that legacy and opportunity there on the WWE network. Now, I wanted to answer a question for you to somewhat appease and possibly raise your anxiety, and that is the WWE network is on Peacock. Get it until 2026. Now, if you remember, that deal hit around February of 2021. It's a 5-year deal, which means that we could be, I don't know, midway through 2025, maybe third quarter of 2025, and hear news about the WWE network either continuing on Peacock or transitioning fully to Netflix.
Peacock better not let that go. That's all y'all really got, if I'm just being honest.
Yeah,
like, I mean, you got that and the old people
in the office.
It's no shade. It's no shade.
After that, you have nothing else on there.
Yeah.
No originals are okay. You are you need the WWE network.
I would agree. Now this is interesting just from a business perspective. You know, the WWE network, Peacock, obviously powered by NBC Universal. That relationship goes back to the, early to mid 80s. And one would argue that could perhaps be one of the other things that continues the relationship between, shout out to Days of Our Lives, to the relationship between WWE and NBC. But remember, they have revived Saturday night's main event. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think if, they're saying Peacock should keep it, I don't know that we realize it's going to come to who puts up the most money for it.
It's inside the NBA all over again.
That's what it's going to be. Literally, that's what it is. And remember this, guys, in case you forgot, the deal for the WWE network to go to Peacock was worth $1 billion over 5 years. Okay.
Listen, we know where the network going.
So consider Netflix has shelled out $5 billion for the next 10.
So y'all missing the big picture. You know who's gonna get the network?
So let's see where these pockets are.
Tubi finna get the WWE network.
Man.
You are out of your mind. Tubi and no. Please.
Y'all mark my words. Tubi gonna put a bid in.
They might put a bit, but dude, well, whoever's got the cash, I think that's who it's going to boil down.
Tubi did a Super Bowl commercial. Like, let's
a
not
Super Bowl commercial, but
that's
I don't
still
think
that's still a million.
Yeah, that's right. We talking billions at this point. So
we go see.
We are going to
see.
see.
Stay on Peacock though? Are we okay if it stays there? I mean, their user interface is fine, but I think it could be better at times.
I will agree and say there was still nothing like the standalone WWE network. I think it was just fire all the way around. Now, if Netflix, who has already kind of mastered this whole streaming, search, all of that, it'd be interesting to see if it ends up on there. The only problem from where I sit is there are certain things that cycle off of Netflix, just like they cycle off of Peacock. And I wonder what WWE content would potentially cycle off, or what else would have to cycle off to accommodate the WWE library.
Could this be, though, we could maybe potentially, with what you even just said, possibly see them do go back to standalone and powered by Netflix. So it's like, yo, you can have the WWE Network app. It's just powered by Netflix.
It'll be interesting to see, because I think for them, the win of shipping it off was you no longer had to worry about the infrastructure for that. And that was that sucked up a lot of money. Sorry for using the word suck, but that, dried up and utilized a lot of money that now all they're doing is providing the content.
Yeah.
As opposed to the infrastructure. So it allows them to actually make money from it. So this is going to be fun to watch. It's going to be so much fun. The expansion of the WWE is a business class in and of itself.
Definitely.
It really is.
$1 billion for a library 5 years ago. What's the value of that library today?
Considering what's happened in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
That off. Oh, I'm selling it.
Because think about this. In the last 5 years, you've added the Cody return, the CM Punk return. You've added all of what NXT has done, all of the expansion of WW, WrestleMania to 2 nights. Like there's so much there. The return of The Rock. I mean, woo.
The return of The Rock and the creation of the final boss.
well, and this entire bloodline run, is all in this last 5 years.
And the fact that WrestleMania just keeps getting better and better each year.
Yeah,
and women's wrestling is just on the forefront.
Yeah, it's oof. These are my
can't wait for Tubi to get this network. Can't wait.
That's so funny. Listen,
I'm just excited to see how they do this, man, with Netflix. Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, I love the WWE Network. It will always be near and dear to my heart.
Let me see. There's special antibodies. I recently saw a clip of a show where you were on commentary and Khan made his debut. Was that at an Ashe show? So I'd like to be able to buy it and see the whole show. Yes, it was an Ashe show, and you can check it out at AsheWrestling.com. The whole show is there. That was at Ashe 6. That was at our last show. Yeah, so you can check that out. And matter of fact, for anybody who wants to watch what we've done at Ashe Wrestling, AsheWrestling.com, you can check that out. All of our shows are there. You'll see me on all of them. And I'm specifically doing commentary on the last 2 shows, in addition to doing interviews and everything else. So by all means, go ahead, check out the entire library there at AsheWrestling.com. All right. So then, now we move to the latest star to be ID'd by the WWE. And this one, watching it last night and today, kind of put me in the feels. I got to admit, given the story and the understanding of things, congratulations to Kylie Rae. Kylie Rae, who her journey has been so interesting. You know, there was a point where she was actually in the WWE briefly, a point where she was in AEW, a point where she left the business, citing issues in terms of mental health and the like. And now she's back working hard, and now she gets that ID from the WWE ID program. What were your thoughts when you heard this news? Councilman, I'll start with you.
I don't know her too much. Like you said, I just started kind of reading up on her story. It just still kind of echoes what we've been talking about. It's just good to see that folks are really looking at everyone as far as talent is going and trying to bring them in and really elevate their game. And like you said, if she's was able to make it to the big time on both AEW and WWE, then something has to be there. And so, I just look forward to seeing, like, if she goes to NXT or maybe if she gets the straight call up, it'll be very interesting to see. But any women wrestlers that's coming in right now, it's just either you got to be the cream of the crop or you gon' shape up and become one, because the best women's division is over here. So
these are facts. Honey, your thoughts on Kylie Ray and the WWE ID?
I think this is exciting. I think, being said, she's had an opportunity with WWE before in a tryout, so it's like, it's not like we're not too unfamiliar. But I'm excited to see what she brings. I know she's had a lot of great history in Japan as well, and in Indies, and she's doing her thing now. And then now she's here. She's been WWE ID'd. I can't wait to see more of her, and how she inserts herself into the women's division, especially this women's division.
So here's what's interesting to me, Deanna, and I want to pose this to you. One of the things about those who have been given this WWE ID moniker is they are still able to compete on the indies. They are still able to, wrestle in other promotions. They can do dark matches. The only thing they really can't do is be on like a nationally televised program. And if they are in a space where another company is interested in signing them, WWE has the first rights of refusal. So with that said, I find this interesting because just last week, I don't want to get his name wrong. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name just this fast. Jackson Drake, that is his name. Jackson Drake was just ID'd by WWE last week. I've talked quite a bit about him. This weekend, if you can imagine this, he has a battle, I believe it's this weekend, with Moose.
Oh.
And it's for the X Division Championship.
Oh, boy.
So I'm curious, what do you think these prospects need to do to move from being prospects to being signees?
Man, that's a good one, because since TNA is not televised, right? Well, is it televised or is it streamed?
That particular match is happening at an independent show. It's not happening at a TNA show.
So yeah, just look, when you were talking about like they have rights of a first refusal, that's pretty big. But I think it's having scout. It's like it's evolved into the world of college athletics almost. We're sending recruiters, we're sending scouters to these locations to watch and see and study these WWE IDs, and I think that's going to be their pathway. So it's almost like highlighting or spotlighting a specific wrestler through their entire journey and giving them what they need to make it through. I think that's got to be the make or break. Once they get ID, they have to sort of, continue to grow, continue to develop. I went back and read the stuff from their website just to get a better understanding of it too.
Sure.
And it's to a point where it just feels where WWE has been like this mad titan almost, that seeing her get her be in WWID felt like a freshman getting a full ride scholarship. You know what I mean? Like that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's going to feel like the most. But again, through that full ride, that freshman has to produce, has to develop, has to get better. So hopefully that next step will be NXT. Maybe that next step is always NXT. Maybe they're good enough to make the main roster jump. But it's going to be interesting to see, because this is only a few months of it now.
Not even a month.
Is it not? It's not even a month.
It's not even been a month. October 29th is when they announced.
I just feel like I see an ID every day, and it feels like something different every day. But yeah, I just think over time we get to see this person develop. And they said they're going to have like behind the scenes stuff too of these of the wrestlers as they progress through their journey. So I mean, they're just gonna have to show out. They got the golden ticket right now, and that's going to be WWE is like again. It's a golden ticket. I never thought in my lifetime I'd see WWE get so much praise for getting indie wrestlers, for scooping up indie wrestlers, because a lot of people probably say, "Oh man, they're trying to monopolize and do all this there." This is where the world is going with NIL, with everything like this. They just saw how they could do it with wrestling, and I think it's a genius idea.
I agree, and perhaps the next to be hit as a WWE ID prospect is the mayor. Mayor, how are you, sir?
I like that. I'm doing well, guys. Sorry,
What's up,
I'm a little
Sid?
late.
That's all right. That's all right. So we're talking about this whole WWE ID situation, and I guess the question is, with so many having been pegged with the WWE ID moniker, what do you think these new prospects have to do to move from prospect to signee?
Ooh, I think I like the idea that it's like a scholarship. So it's like you're still growing. It's like a funneling system. It's like you'll probably have the guidance. And if anybody remembers earlier this year when Joe Hendry had like access to the PC as part of the partnership, I look at it like that. It's like you have all the access and references of people that are in the building, writers, trainers, things like that, that will be guidance for you to grow into this space. So they probably have an idea of where these individuals' potential lies. And now you have the resources. So I'd look at it as like they have access to these resources to continue growing their career and building their own brand and names, to where it's like, hey, now we can easily funnel you into our style on live television.
So this ought to be quite interesting to watch for sure. And there's some fun comments happening over here. Are we potentially going to see someone in the Nightmare Factory get WWE ID'd? I think that's very possible, given the fact that they are a WWE ID school. So I think that is
why is he acting like TK right now? Why are you 416 in this thing?
No, well,
you don't know what you're talking about,
because there are plenty of other wrestlers that are in there that they could ID and the like. And Cousin says you hope to see the commentary team, which I appreciate that. I do appreciate that, guys. Yeah. So very, very interesting. So let's continue on here.
He's still dodging it. You see it?
I'm like,
no.
Act like you don't know them comments are about you.
Well, listen, I appreciate all of this support. I really, really do. And I think one of these days it's going to turn into what we want. That's my hope. I think there are so many things that are colliding that at some point, it'll just kind of be in the crosshairs. But what I do think is interesting is I believe it was last night, was the premiere for Moana 2. It happened in Hawaii. And as you can see, there is The Rock, the final boss. And you don't get to see this very often. Him pictured with his daughter, the general manager of NXT, Ava. There's another picture floating around with him and his two younger daughters as well, which is pretty exciting to see. And it looks like there were some members of the WWE universe that were in this premiere as well, including a certain Seth Rollins and his wife, Becky Lynch, and their daughter was there as well, as was the Rhodes clan. And conspicuous by her absence is Mama Rhodes. So pretty fun to see. It is Liberty's first premiere. And as Cody would do, Cody doesn't go anywhere without that WWE championship, and that is perfectly on brand. I totally understand that. I absolutely love how Brandy looks like a Disney princess here. I think that is just like the dopest. It is so dope.
They were there for the Moana premiere, and I heard that they were also doing some Make-A-Wish. Make-A-Wish.
Dope.
ask for some kids. Yeah,
I love it.
Daughter looks terrified in that picture, though.
She looks
It
happy.
looks like she's trying to smile, but she's looking at something else. There's something else on the ground.
Like, get me out of here.
The mic fire is
She's
just
so
like it's
beautiful.
too much.
You know the babies love seeing Mickey from afar, but like sometimes when you realize how big Mickey and Minnie is in comparison, it's like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for this.
It's also wild to see this because they divorced and they still got to work together.
Who?
Mickey and Minnie. They broke up. Like Disney officially announced that they split up.
What?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
When
When was
did this
this?
happen?
What the? No.
When did this happen?
I
This
need
was, I
info.
want to say like 2 years ago. Yeah, like they're officially not together anymore.
No.
Accusations. These are not accusations. This is false accusation. And
There's no way.
Hold on.
It was
Hold
a
on.
I feel like if you would have to like kill off a character if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, like what are we doing?
That's why I was like, why is this? Like, why are y'all doing this? When I first read it, I was like, why? That was real news.
So wait, here, what I'm reading, it says Mickey and Minnie are technically not married, but Walt Disney said in 1933 that they are married in private life. So I don't see anywhere
where can of worms. You just been shacking up.
I know, right?
Well, remember 1933. You know, if you go back and follow history, in shows like I Love Lucy, they talked about how they wouldn't let the husband and wife sleep in the same bed on camera because in that era, that was just too provocative for them. The idea that they were sharing the same bed, even though they were married. This is, we're gonna have to find out about this. This is,
I'm distraught.
I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. Of all places to find that out here. Like what?
No, I visit them yearly down here.
Right.
It came out in 2023. It was like a whole. Yeah, it was like art. I don't know if it's fake news or what.
I was gonna say who put it out?
Fake news.
Who put it out?
It's InsideTheMagic.net.
That sounds fake.
10 News.
Anything that says .net. No.
So right. So I'm
not feeling it.
Is that real, JD?
Correct. It wasn't until the movie Psycho that a man and woman were shown.
Oh yeah. I learned that.
Yes.
I learned that in art class.
Yeah, this story is screaming. This story is screaming fake.
Yeah, I don't know, but I remember it being a big thing on the internet. Like I was like, why would you?
I didn't get that memo.
Yeah.
Mickey
That
and Minnie Mouse.
right.
They're married. They're together.
Well, I'm sure people have been asking, where is Samantha Irvin? Right? Well, Samantha Irvin is living her best life. She is now doing some acting. She's connected with popular comedian Kev on Stage to be part of his brand new Churchy season 2. Churchy is an entire sitcom that he put together that originally was on his platform, Kev on Stage Studios. Then it moved to BET Plus, and then ironically, the same day that WWE ID was announced, it premiered on BET. So now they are filming season 2, and Samantha Irvin is going to be a part of that, which I think is pretty awesome. Now, what many may not know, Kev on Stage, an amazing comedian in his own right, is also a massive wrestling fan. So all of this just kind of works together, and we love to see it. So let me ask this: your thoughts on Samantha Irvin already making moves now into the world of acting? What are your thoughts? Councilman, we'll start with you.
I mean, Kathy Kelly did it, so why not? I mean, as long as Samantha is happy, like Samantha brought us joy. Like of me personally, someone that brings you joy, as long as you get to see them doing what they love to do, try new things, and just have a great life. I don't particularly care what Samantha does, as long as she's happy, because she brought a lot of happiness to me. But it is good to see her dipping her toe into acting. I'm sure she's gonna get to you use that immaculate voice of hers in this show as well. Get that spotlight again and stuff. So I think it'll be dope to see her when Churchy drops.
For sure. Dion, your thoughts on this new move for Samantha Irvin?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like a natural step because she wanted to do more in WWE, and they just had her as from her story that she was just going to be a ring announcer, and she seems far more talented than just that. Like Will said, she brought us joy with her ring announcements, her reactions, and everything like that. So this was like a logical next step for her, and that WWE platform definitely helped her be in there those years too. Or her platform using it during that time definitely helped her make this transition too. So I mean, she can do whatever she wants a little bit now. So act and sing and do it all.
She certainly can. And I can imagine her singing at some point in this. I can imagine that happening for sure. So this will be exciting for her and whatever is next for her career and future. And certainly we'll be keeping you posted when season 2 of Churchy hits BET. Now, of course, this kind of move for Samantha Irvin is kind of going back to her roots of singing and performing. And with that said, going to her roots is Lyra Valkyria, who is getting ready to return to a promotion that she was part of prior to joining the WWE. The promotion is OTT. It's over in Dublin, Ireland. She will be returning at an event called The Dream Before Christmas. It's kind of wild because Trent Seven will be a part of this and several other significant names. It's incredible to me how much talent from WWE is heading to other promotions. It's wild to see. Shinsuke Nakamura is heading back to Pro Wrestling Noah back in January. You've got Lyra heading to Dublin, Ireland. What do we make of these moves? So many of these moves for WWE superstars heading back to indie promotions. What are your thoughts on this, honey?
I think this is amazing. I think this is just a continuation of all the conversations we've been having about the way WWE continues to evolve and move forward. And this was really cool for Lyra Valkyria. She'll be able to go somewhere where she has lots of history, where she grew up, her home stomping grounds, and you know, she was former women's champion there as well. So I think this is going to be really, really cool for her, and just to continue to strengthen, you know, her, how do you say, her morale as far as, you know, with the roster.
Let's see, Mayor, what do you think about all of these stars that keep making appearances? I mean, there are stars this weekend will be part of Bloodsport from WWE. It looks like WWE has kind of got their footprint just about everywhere.
I love it. Shows the company's open for business, and all these characters that we don't get to see on week-to-week television, it shows that there's something for them to do in the landscape of professional wrestling. So just having more of that crossover appeal. I think there's so many projects that we previously heard about, like with NXT Europe. That's probably still going to be down the pipeline. The partnership they have with the Japan wrestling circuits as well. It's just showing that WWE is willing to work with some of these other promotions to help have two-way partnerships. It's not going to be a one-sided thing.
And that's exciting to see that, again, WWE is truly being global in their approach and not feeling threatened by having their stars appear in other companies, both domestic and international. So exciting for Lyra Valkyria. Again, that's happening in December over in Dublin, Ireland. A big happy birthday goes out to B-Fab, who's celebrating her birthday. And what a great birthday gift last week, being involved in the U.S. title tournament. You know, she had a great promo after. She's had some great promos during the weekend. There's been a lot of conversation about B-Fab. We are a week removed from, you know, this first match that she had on SmackDown. And I'm curious your thoughts. Where do you see B-Fab a year from now? Dion.
I mean, I think it's hard to say now because she feels like she had somewhat of a breakout moment last week. So much that, like, through socials now, like even Triple H posted or his Twitter accounts and stuff posted stuff about it. I think there's potential for a rocket to be put on her. This might be I know we talked about a few weeks ago or a few days ago about who would be that first person to win this championship and how much would that help and everything. Maybe they're lining BFAB up for it. They're doing a lot now to sort of show her personality too, and like she's getting the spotlight pretty much. A year from now, man, I mean, that SmackDown roster, she could be a big time player on that SmackDown roster. But this is the most I've seen WWE put into her since she got back. And then they're like, hit row, all right, go there. All right, Bobby and the Street Profits, you go over there too. Like now it finally seems like we're getting to know BFAB outside of all those groups that she's been in. And they're letting her talk too, so that's good too. But no, once I saw the Triple H post, I sort of thought to myself, okay, there might be something here. We're going through her entrance, we're taking care of her.
Oh, Cedric.
There's potential there.
Yeah. All right. I don't know where that came from, but all right. Honey, your thoughts. A year from now, where do we see BFAB?
It's crazy because I'm looking at this picture of her, right? And I looked at the way I was watching, obviously, live. I was watching her entrance as she was coming out. The way they were focusing all the attention on her. The camera was right on her. She was playing with the camera. She's very appealing. And she's very, she has that look. She already has that. Her in-ring ability, she debuted last week. There's still more that needs to be told with that, but going off of her first, she was amazing because people are still talking about her. Going forward, I just feel like what is missing with BFAB, I just feel like if she gets on the mic and she finds that one line or that one quote or that one thing that she says that makes it stick and something that we can gravitate towards, that we can engage in the same way we do with these other superstars. Because you're on SmackDown. This is the SmackDown roster, and you got a lot of heavy artillery on the SmackDown roster. You got Tiffy Time, you got Chelsea Green, you have Nia Jax, you have Naomi, you have the big two, you have the big three. Okay, so and I want to see more. I feel like she needs maybe a really good promo commercial or segment or something, just of her talking some good smack, and something just needs to hit and it'll completely work for her. Because once she finds that, she gets her rhythm in the ring as she keeps going, everything gets better with repetition and with time. So we're gonna see her grow. And with all the women that she's going to be working with, she's going to be just fine. She's in great hands there. So I'm not worried about that for BFAB, but she's definitely a future main event player.
I like it. Any thoughts on where we could see BFAB in the next year, Councilman?
Yeah, this might be a bit of a hot take as well.
Here we go.
BFAB is going to be that blueprint that opens up Selena to finally be considered for the world championship. Because if you take a look at it, we've never seen BFAB in this kind of capacity. Normally, it's just as a manager. And we saw the performance she put on with two veterans, Candice LeRae and Bayley, and she wasn't no slouch. She didn't look too much like a rookie. You could see okay, this woman has definitely put in the work. Not only that, you now have a second division with the women's U.S. title. So now you start to procure a group of women that are going to go after that title rather than having them wait until we can shuffle out new people into the women's WWE championship, which gives a great lane for BFAB to really show who she is, just like to Honey's point, being able to come up with that slogan. The entrance looks great. She looks great in the ring. She has all the tools she needs. And in this next year, if she can keep capitalizing on it, getting major wins, like if she could pick up a victory over folks like a Naomi, folks like a Bayley, if she can even give us, not even beat, but give us an all-star performance with her versus Bianca Belair, it's just going to send her to the roof. So all she has to do is just keep steady and keep consistent. And I would love to see that, because then that gives the U.S. women's title more legitimacy, and it shows you who would be the next ones up when it's time to go to the main title.
Said, any thoughts on BFAB?
It's a good showing, and I like that they're giving her a space to kind of spread her wings and her own platform. Like from the entrance and everything, there's behind the scenes videos of Triple H orchestrating everything. It shows they have a plan for her, and she's so far removed from that match we saw with Elektra Lopez on NXT years ago. It shows that the PC works, that there's a blueprint there if you just keep working at it. And with so much turnaround that she's had in this brief few years, from being Hit Row and being the first lady of that group, and then having Hit Row leave, and Hit Row comes back, and then certain people will get let go, but she stayed the course. Even with building her own brand on socials, she's always been able to speak on the microphone, but now she's being able to show what she's working on in the ring. So I think a year from now, you'll see her be a legit challenger in the women's division on either one of the 3 shows. I think you'll be able to say, hey, we have a match on a Monday night and beat Babs in it, and you won't be surprised by it. And I think that's what they want for the entire women's division, which is huge.
Yeah,
I want to see her versus Carmella. I would love to see that.
That could be interesting. That could be interesting, for sure. And maybe something like that could find itself happening on SmackDown one of these days. Tonight for SmackDown, it's a pretty, again, stacked show. We're apparently going to get a face-to-face, and I don't know how much talking is going to happen here, between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. That should be really interesting. And I think there's still a lot of question to see who's really wrong in this. That's a whole nother discussion for another day. But then from there, we got a big tag match happening tonight as Naomi and Bayley take on Candice LeRae and Tiffany Stratton. And I just am wondering, at what point will Naomi be forced to choose between the big 3 and Bayley? Because it feels like that moment.
This is a setup. I'm like, this is a setup. This match is clearly a setup for something.
It feels like a setup. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And speaking of the Women's U.S. Championship, we've got another first round triple threat. Good Lord. Blair Davenport, Bianca Belair, and good grief.
How do you
Chelsea Green. I don't know what we're doing on this one.
Like what? Why?
There's some different avenues you could take. Just pick one.
This is wild. So let's just kind of run through this very quickly. Your predictions for who wins this first round match.
I got Blair.
I want to go Chelsea just because. Yeah, I'm picking Chelsea. She'll steal it somehow.
Okay.
Or fall into it somehow.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Damn it. I don't know, man. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bet against the EST. That's not my style. I'm not betting against the EST. Let's go Bianca.
Okay.
EST getting knocked out because of War Games. Something gonna distract her from this.
If Bianca and Jade advance in this first round, we've done something completely wrong with this United States title.
They're doing. I feel like what they're gonna do to us again is what they did with the Queen of the Ring, where they were with the qualifying tournaments, matches, because there was also an opportunity where they could have ended up fighting each other, but they didn't. Bianca ended up losing, I believe.
No, it was Jade who got disqualified.
Jade lost and Bianca advanced. But
Jade I'm okay with, but it's like, no offense to Bianca or Bayley. There's so many other women that I think need this opportunity to get this title. I don't mind seeing y'all in this, but it's like, yo, I'm very concerned if they have y'all the ones that become the newly crowned U.S. champion when there's so many others that I know this would skyrocket them. Especially these 2 women. And I'm so torn between Blair and Chelsea. I've been rooting for Chelsea this whole time that she gets some kind of advancement. So I'm gonna stick with Chelsea for now. But please believe I'm right here with Blair Davenport, because she is, man, that girl is cold in the ring.
Yeah, she is. She's really, really cold. So we'll see.
But Bianca's the EST though.
I know, but I'm only doing that based because of shenanigans that might happen with the other folks in War Games.
Yeah.
Nia Jax are over there as well.
Yep.
Naomi, like all of that stuff, I can see that coming into action. Even Liv Morgan may be popping up and interfering.
Or Piper Niven and Unholy Union. It's gonna be chaotic. Are we gonna get 2 War Games matches?
I don't know. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. So that's all going down tonight. Of course, tomorrow is Full Gear, and of course, if there's Full Gear, all things Elite are here.
WWT resident AEW expert Courtney NJ11.
I think she may be on her way to Full Gear right now.
Courtney is here. A private driver?
Because, North Jersey, but I'm getting myself prepared for tomorrow. Getting myself prepared.
Yes, so, Courtney.
Are you driving?
TK's in a limo.
My brother's driving.
TK sent a private driver. Yeah,
that's what it is.
There it is. There it is.
Oh my God.
Private driver. Makes sense. Well, we are just getting ready to talk quickly about Full Gear happening tomorrow night. I know you will be there and will be very excited about that. So quickly, I don't know how much time you have, but let's get your thoughts on the main event. I kind of think I know which way you're leaning, but Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy, the World Championship. What are your thoughts?
They're just whipping the Band-Aid off on the poor girl.
Just go right. Yeah, you know.
You already know who I'm going for. I mean, in fact, he's from New Jersey, so I gotta go for him. Orange Cassidy at this point. He really showed a lot the last 5 years. And also, if you saw on Instagram, I did a tribute video to him. He just had so much matches.
Which was great, by the way.
The most chemistry he had next to Chris Jericho was Moxley. Because you recall the first match, main event pay-per-view we had was with Moxley at All Out.
Oh, wow.
And that match was crazy. And it was bloody. So I'm going with the Jersey boy.
Courtney Cassidy in the house.
Let's see if I can get some other thoughts here on who's going to walk out as the world champion tomorrow night. Dion, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, I'm always going to ride with Courtney, so she's our resident AEW expert, so I am going with her. Orange Cassidy is a weird commodity to me sometimes, but yeah, I'm going with him to beat the 5th best Shield member. Something like that. 4th best.
Wow. Wow.
We still gotta have that debate.
I'm glad I brought these with me.
Yeah.
We're not doing that today.
It got bright. It got really bright in here for a second. All the shades.
Jeez. Oh boy. All right. Mayor.
You know what? Every time AEW has the opportunity to put over like one of these kind of originals, homegrown talents, I don't think they ever really pull the trigger, at least in my eyes. So I don't feel like they're going to put Orange Cassidy over Old Reliable, which is Moxley. Unless there's some fantasy world where I can be a dreamer and be like, okay, Mox is out of his contract this weekend and he's the 5th man at War Games, which isn't going to happen. So for that, I got to go with Old Reliable. Mox, he's been the most loyal to the company, I'd say, and the most present to keep that brand forward, especially after that quote I heard about him saying that if AEW is not successful these next 20 years and everything gets set back. So I think he carries that with pride.
I would agree. Bosa says this is Orange's first crack at becoming the man. I got a slight correction on that. His first opportunity was back at Double or Nothing 2022 or 2021. One of those. It was against Kenny Omega when Omega was the world champion. That was his first opportunity at the title. It was the first pay-per-view they did where they opened the Full House up at Daly's place. Let's see, Councilman Moxley or Cassidy?
I'm sorry, Courtney. I'm never gonna go against a man that wears a white V-neck out in public. I don't want them problems. I don't want none of them problems.
Damn.
And I feel the same way. Like, if Tony Khan cared about story, then this would be the perfect time to crown Orange Cassidy and let New Jersey have its night. But since he's deaf to all of that, I really feel like he's just gonna let Moxley.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Let's see what you got for me, honey.
I mean, you do all, and this is no knock on anything, but you do all of this with Jon Moxley, his dramatic return and taking out Daniel Bryan and winning the title and taking over AEW as he self-proclaims. I mean, you would have to continue to keep that going, right? We do know that sometimes there's this elephant in the room with wrestling when it comes to the hometown hero. They never really win in some cases. We've seen it even this year. We've seen it in recent years. We've seen it throughout the history of time in wrestling. But I'm going to have to go with Jon Moxley.
All right. I'm probably going to upset some people with this, but given the landscape of what's happening right now in AEW, I don't think there's any way that Orange Cassidy wins this match. Jon Moxley does this. We still have to find out who is behind what Moxley's crusade is. We've got to find out there's so much still to figure out. And he's going to, I think, have to go through all of AEW's golden children before they land on whoever the one is going to be. Mm-hmm. And I just don't think it's going to be Orange Cassidy at this point. I mean, I appreciate the fact that he's actually talking more. But sorry, I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I think if you're going into tomorrow night looking for Orange Cassidy to become champion, you just might get disappointed. So we'll
now,
see
if
how
he was there, this
Lord.
may be a different story.
Oh Lord.
I have
tomorrow.
It's funny you mentioned that, man, because I have a story, but we'll talk about it after we're done.
I don't think this is a hot take, but isn't Moxley the most important character in all the history of AEW?
The history of AEW?
Like he's the one that really set forth it being like on that trajectory, right? He's always there, 3-time champ now.
If we sitting on a Mount Rushmore of AEW pillars,
he's on it.
I'd say Moxley has enough qualification to be on one of those.
Be nominated for it. Nominated.
Yeah, I could see Moxley on the Mount Rushmore of AEW as of right now. I don't think there's any arguing that.
For what I mean by that is like I don't think AEW really takes off to the level it did if Mox didn't join the company.
This is one of those Thanos snap questions.
I see. Here's the. I want to say yeah, but I also want to say no.
Because I actually think Cody was more important to the early part of AEW than Mox was.
Yeah.
And
then Kenny Omega definitely had his run as there. And then you had a Young Bucks who are still like
Cody, Kenny Omega, Jericho, Young Bucks.
Yeah.
But Jericho, because he kind of pigeonholed himself to never being the guy. Whereas Mox became
Cody
the guy.
never be Cody was always the guy. He was just never the world champion.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Because you still couldn't watch him anyway. Like that was one of the matches you wanted to see.
I'll give you a great example. During the early days of AEW, if you walked through the airport in Atlanta, they actually, when they had their varying pictures of, important people and organizations, they had Cody Rhodes' picture in the Atlanta airport in a massive space representing AEW. So I think Cody was able to create relationships and connect with people in ways that Mox never will. Cody was by far the guy to allow people to start paying attention to AEW, which is what was super important. And I think Mox has been wildly consistent in all of that. I think he is your steady Eddie. That's another interesting discussion.
Moxley's a cult classic. If you look in the movie terms, Moxley is a cult classic. Like, he has a definitely a widespread audience that follows him. And I think he definitely has added to it. But when, like you said, when it comes to like who really put the stuff on their backs like that to bring in a new audience of people, is your Codys, is even your CM Punks at that time when he was there, your MJFs. Like, these were the ones that got you to also stay and want to continue to see the property, even Tutu and Orange Cassidy. I think Moxley was just like, Moxley is great. Like, I'm not taking that away from him, especially being, the fourth best Shield member. Like, you got to have some greatness to you. So, Professor.
Try to hold on. We're going to have to set a date with that.
We know the count already. Roman, Seth, Kurt Angle, John Moxley.
That's so funny.
And just so we know ahead of time, I will be arguing why Mox is the number one. There's so many arguments to validate that.
There's an interesting argument to be made. We got to schedule this discussion.
We're not doing
that.
You
give me a Moxley moment that tops Milkomania. All right, you find me one. You find me one. Okay, Milkomania is still one of the top moments in WWE.
Not Milkomania.
Never had that.
Milkomania. That's pure comedy. Pure comedy. All right, let's look at this. The TBS Championship on the line. Since we're talking about great members of the Shield, Mercedes Moné and Chris Statlander. Who are we going with to leave as the TNT champion? I was going to go to Courtney, but I think she's faded to black in the immortal words of the House of Black. So, honey, Mercedes or Statlander?
Oh. I dare y'all to pick against the boss. I dare you.
I'm not gonna validate any reason why she shouldn't win or should win. She's definitely going to win. Like, she's only been playing nana poo poo with the belt since she got it. So she's gonna continue to do that.
CE, no, that's funny. Dion.
I mean, I think it's Mercedes, right? I mean, they invested a lot into that. I really not digging what they did to Camille. She's a bumbling fool of a bodyguard. So that kind of stinks. But also, Milkomania made the 15th anniversary. Made the 15th anniversary. I was just looking at it to see if it was, and it's right here on disc 2.
That's great.
A 15th anniversary
That's
of Raw.
Great.
Damn it!
I've never done that.
That's great.
Done that.
That is great. Mayor, who's taking this one?
We got to set this date. We won't do this before Christmas. This like Shield thing.
Yeah, we need to.
Mercedes wins, and I will also say she's probably going to give Statlander one of her best matches in the company to date. But this is no shot at Stat. I get that what they're doing with the story, but I can't accept that we flip-flop from her tormenting Willow all year to just becoming a babyface again. That doesn't make sense. And it's not enough time to let that really breathe. So I think Mercedes wins. I don't think that Camille even has to really interfere. I think we get Mercedes winning handily.
Okay. Councilman.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. Statlander is good, but the same thing, the face change is very quick. And I want to say this in the right way. It hasn't built up enough for you to take off this belt of Monet now. She's gotten to a place where we need a legitimate story and a built-up rivalry for this to happen, for her to lose the belt. Statlander, I don't think is there yet, so I'm going with Mercedes.
So prior to Wednesday, I was fully on board with Mercedes winning this match for all the reasons you mentioned. But then Mercedes said something Wednesday night that made me go, uh-oh. She made this statement to the effect of, I'm never losing this championship. I'll always be the champion. And I'm like, I smell a rat. And the way she's been treating Camille, I think Camille somehow cost Mercedes Moné this championship. I was on board with Mercedes because for everything you said, I didn't think that Statlander was strong enough, but I think we could be seeing a title change, which would be interesting. I mean, at this point, anything to make the TBS championship a little more interesting right now would be welcomed for sure. So we'll see.
Or what if I'm sorry, what if Camille like knocks her out after she wins, or does turns on her or something like that instead? Like, what if they wait till after she retains and then build up on that?
This quick though? Y'all think she gonna turn this quick?
You saw how quick Statlander turned?
Mm-hmm.
It was so quick we didn't even see it.
Just a little video package.
I mean, it's this transition that's already happened. I mean, think about it. Camille has not been there that long. How in the world does she go from this brick house powerhouse to this almost bumbling idiot this fast? This is crazy to me. This is crazy. So we'll see. All right, very quickly, because I know we got to wrap up shortly. MJF, Roderick Strong, any quick predictions on this? Are you back, Courtney? Okay, she's talking. I think she might be muted.
I can't hear you, babe.
We see you.
We see you, but we cannot hear.
She's waxing poetic, but we can't hear her. I don't know.
Give us a thumbs up for MJF or 2 thumbs for Roderick. Which one you going with?
MJF. There you go.
I can't wait.
That's hilarious. That was so Cassidy of you.
I can't.
Dion, who you got here? MJF or Roderick Strong?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the MJF. I'm trying to watch more AEW, but I saw the promo that they did, and I was like, that's a little, MJF. If I have to pick someone, stop it, Johnny. If I have to pick someone, I say MJF. I mean, he is still that guy, right? So yeah. Okay. I just didn't like the promo that much.
Got it, Councilman.
MJF, hope you get your back broke by Roderick Strong. Not really broke.
You're gonna get a hurting.
Because he's a back breaking expert. So I want you to really get hurt, but I want you to get your back broke off in this match. And I hope Adam Cole interferes, distracts you, and Roderick Strong picks up this victory. Because I don't know, I just like to see MJF just not so confident. I feel like that's when his best promos come out, when he's just all over the place.
Okay. Honey?
I am going with Maxwell Jacob Friedman because he's better than you.
And apparently you know it. Apparently you know it. All right. And the last big one we're going to preview was just announced, and that is for the International Championship. Konosuke Takeshita defends against Ricochet. We'll start with you, Dion.
I mean, Ricochet's been saying a lot this last week.
He has.
Maybe this is the title that starts him being the face of, his dream of being the face of AEW. So let's go with that. He talked a lot this week. It's going to be kind of tough.
He wants to prove it to us.
It's going to be tough to jump back on Twitter after a loss. So I'm hoping he gets the win this time.
Mayor.
But now I can't think about it. I can't stop thinking about that. It's gonna be tough to hop on Twitter after an L because he has been he's been sticking his chest out a little bit.
I mean,
So yeah, I mean, from that standpoint, I'll go with Ricochet. I think that'll be a good win over Takeshita if he were able to get it and capturing his first AEW title. I feel like we have to place him somewhere on the card with a belt, and there's so many belts, and let's go with this one.
He could have been Intercontinental, but never mind. It's not my turn anymore.
Honey.
Now, we know on Wednesday we talked extensively about Ricochet, and I had some strong words for him. But I will say this, Ricochet. I'm going to pick you, Ricochet. But you better deliver. You better deliver. I don't want no talking, no nothing. Just do what you do and just continue to work, man, and just have fun doing it. It's wrestling. You love to do it. But don't worry about proving to us. We know what you can be because we've wanted you to be where you want to be for the last few years. So just do that, bro. Just do that. If you're gonna do it. But I'm picking you. So don't let me down.
I think this is one of those moments where Ricochet has just kind of put himself in a hole just based on how much he has said. And it's really going to be interesting to see how he delivers. But I think
hey, we can't do that. We can't do that.
Wow.
Let's not.
Eric Isaac.
That's too close to Mr. Kardashian for me. Let's not do Ricochet.
Wow.
Like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got to do my pick for it.
Go ahead.
Ricochet, you have not edged up your beard in a while, which lets me know like you I don't have no confidence in you no more. Your beard ain't. It was when you got with Samantha, it was touched up. You got engaged. Now you act like you ain't got to show off no more. So I ain't really got that confidence in you, and I don't know why. Seeing this picture reminds me of one thing. You remember when he faced Gunther for a rematch for the Intercontinental title? Mm-hmm. That's what this reminds me of, and that's what that match is going to be like. Ricochet is going to try some stuff, and Takeshita is still going to have that belt.
It's a playoff beard. You don't shave until you complete the mission.
Will wants that Lexus King line up.
Yeah. Last month Ricochet was in WWE. I was like, hey, that man got a black queen in his corner. Now it's just he ain't got no sheen in it no more. He ain't putting juices and berries in it. He ain't lining it up. Nah.
I've lived long enough to hear a Sheen reference on women's wrestling.
Right.
We have made it.
Oh, this is great. This is great. This is great. This is so good to me.
I love this show, man.
I love this show. All right, so there are a few other matches. It's a big card. Let's quickly talk about this match involving the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Swerve. Who are you picking?
Go
ahead.
I was gonna say we all win. We all win. I'm just happy to see Swerve and Bobby Lashley. I'm happy to see like there's a good challenge in front of Swerve that he has not really had the pleasure of dealing with. Bobby Lashley, first match in. I'm excited to see the hype around what he's been doing and what he's ready to showcase for us in AEW. What he has here. I just it's hard for me to pick. I don't know if I want to, but considering the Hurt Syndicate came in so strong, I feel like there's such good storytelling to be told between these two. So just give me a whole bunch of series with Swerve and Bobby for the next couple months. I'll take it. I don't care.
Okay. Dion, who you picking?
Yeah, Lashley coming in the way he's come in with the Hurt Syndicate. I mean, Shelton Benjamin just going otherworldly too. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be hard for me not to see Bobby Lashley just throttle Swerve in this match somehow. You know what I mean?
Swerve's gonna be selling in this match too.
He's gonna have to, because we know how Bobby is, and we know how big of a monster he can be.
The Almighty.
Exactly. So I think that's probably the match on this card I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is wild, because usually it's up and down for me for AEW. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. Okay. Councilman, did you go yet?
Chelsea gonna win this title. She got a Slim Jim commercial now. Chelsea winning this title. Chelsea is winning this title.
What does that have to do with
Chelsea Green is winning this title? I just want to throw that out there. My man, I saw this and I was like, "Yep, she's winning." What if she win this match tonight? She winning the title. You ain't finna swerve the Almighty. Like you about to get stomped out. We need the Hurt Syndicate to look very strong right now, and nobody sells a butt whooping better than Swerve. So, and I think that is just going to set up though for some more phenomenal matches between them. And hey, seeing these two brothers consistently be on the pay-per-view card, sign me up. I'll take it.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Mayor?
I got Bobby. I think it'll be a strong showing for the Hurt Syndicate, but it'll also give Swerve a lot to do to try to climb the mountain of defeating Bobby Lashley. So I'll take Bobby. And I think it's going to be one of those things where Swerve doesn't quit, but he passes out.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The Hurt Lock.
Yeah.
Good booking.
I could see that.
Good booking.
I could see that. Well, it's going to be a great card. Again, that whole thing goes down tomorrow night, live on pay-per-view, and all the places that you can check it out. Headlined, of course, by Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy. A very full weekend of wrestling, which kicks off again tonight. SmackDown live. There's a watch along right here. We'll give you all the information about that. In the meantime, here's how you can find out about where we. Oh, Courtney.
Oh, she's back.
I know. I had issues with my Wi-Fi earlier, so I am staying with one of my relatives, so they gave me their Wi-Fi. So I'm here. At least I was able to.
Glad you made it safely. That's what matters.
Glad you made it. Well, Courtney, how can the people find you, and how can they follow you? I'm sure you'll have some exclusive content tomorrow night.
Yes, they can always find me here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on WWT Live. Of course, every Wednesday I do my watch on for Dynamite. I will not be on next Monday, but I will give my run through on Wednesday of Full Gear. They can follow me on Instagram and Twitter on @CourtneyNJ11, where I posted a video highlighting Orange Cassidy ahead of his match tomorrow. I'll be posting my bold predictions ahead before Full Gear tomorrow. And also 1 week from tomorrow, I will be partnering with the Monster Factory and Bell to Bell, where we're doing a toy drive for their Jingle Bells show. So let me know if you're interested, and it's going to be a fun show.
Awesome sauce. Dion.
Yeah, over on All-Star Fandom on TikTok and Instagram. Here Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Again, just highlights of my week here, spending it with y'all.
How cool is that? That is super cool. Mayor.
You can follow me at Ced Says on Twitter, Ced is the answer on the gram, my website, cedricwelton.com, for any journalism stuff. And also here Mondays, some Wednesdays, some Fridays. The Monday Night Mayor has been a thing. It'll continue to be a thing as long as TK cuts the check. We got some great sponsors here at WWT, you guys. And I would love, if nothing more, before the holiday season actually kicks off, we can get a Sheen sponsor. That is going to be my goal before the end of 2025. We have a lot of melanated people on the panel throughout the week. And I think a Sheen sponsor would be amazing in 2025.
She's got good stuff, man.
That's great to me. Councilman.
You can find me at Will at the Inuit Dome 2025. TK, if you're watching this, once again, I have never asked for tickets at all. You know what I'm saying? I show up, I work hard.
Make your case, Will.
Did she give you your Vancouver tickets?
She did not give me my Vancouver tickets. I'm making new merch for everybody and stuff, which is only dope when y'all see it. I'm just throwing this out there. Pharaoh Inuit Dome. Help me be able to say Seth effing Rollins out loud, because it's gonna happen. If they don't do it, I'm gonna do it, and I will kick it out if I have to.
Man, oh man.
Where were you? January 6th will have a new meaning. TK.
Oh, exactly. Shout out to the NXT camera person that worked the Jada Parker match.
Yes, Lord.
You are doing God's work.
Yes, Lord.
You know what?
Yes.
Y'all.
Yes. That person needs a raise. That person needs a raise.
I'm so
access to new thing, everything. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Thank you on behalf of all of us.
Honey, who knew that Dylan knew of Bernie Mac? This is a Bernie Mac reference coming from Australia. This is
Dylan.
Phenomenal.
And
phenomenal.
What it was, 2.3 million views in 10 minutes? Thank you.
Wow.
I cannot deal.
Wow.
Oh, goodness.
Honey, how can the people find you?
You guys can always find me here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with the WWT Live crew. And you ain't got to go home, but you got to join me in the next room because at 8 o'clock in 20 minutes, we're going to be doing our Honey Night SmackDown watch along. And I'm so excited to get to the festivities for the next 2 hours. And all things Wrestling with Honey, Wrestling with Honey TikTok, Facebook, Wrestling W Honey, and Wrestling with Honey Instagram. Like and subscribe. The Wrestling with Honey podcast on YouTube. New year, new things. You never know when that podcast is going to come through or buzzing on your screen. So be on the lookout. And
we love to see it.
You will always find me acknowledging my tribal chief.
Can't no man knock me out. I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody. This is my show. This is my camera. I run it all.
We know that NXT cameraman
number one Shield member. Okay.
Tribal chief. We know that.
I just got one more thing to say. I absolutely need whatever Jada Parker clips you can find with the Golden Girls intro behind it, Dylan. Please, can I get that? I just need that.
Wow. Well, you could find me at bonnerfide. Tomorrow night, while Full Gear is going on, if you are not locked into that, you can check me out live on IWTV tomorrow night. As IWE has a show, and it will be streaming live beginning 7 p.m. Eastern. So you can check that out on IWTV. That will be a lot of fun. Lots of work coming up, certainly as we move into December, with some big shows with Southern Honor and a few other spaces and Ashe. And yeah, there's a lot of really cool things coming up. AsheWrestling.com, AllCaribbeanWrestling.com, Nightmare Factory on YouTube, All Caribbean Wrestling on YouTube, all the things. There is one thing I want to say before I leave, and that is this. I got word of a colleague here in Georgia in the wrestling community who recently tried to take his life. And I'm sharing that because with all that's happened with Kylie Ray recently and the like, I want us to take mental health seriously, and I want us to really be kind to each other. I think in the wrestling community, sometimes people, for lack of a better term, get off by being mean and crude and nasty and, all of those types of things, not considering how it impacts people's mental health. What people do to entertain you in whatever role they are in, you never really know what they are going through. We talked about this behind the scenes, but for a lot of us, what we do here is like the bright spot to our day. We look forward to this kind of moment. And so I don't think that wrestling fans always consider that. And so, you have the opportunity to be kind. You may feel strongly about a thing. Sometimes it's worth saying and sometimes it's not. In fact, if you do want to say something, be generous and kind with your words, because you just don't know how some kind compliment, how some kind word will really help people in their journey. So just please consider that. It just frightens me that people are struggling, as so many people are, and you may not ever know, and you may not find out until it's too late. So I just want to admonish everyone, as Ellen would often say, be kind to each other, because it is of extreme importance, even to TK when she doesn't know what 416 means. Be kind. All right. So with that said, thank you to everybody who's with us. I appreciate all of you. No, put that back up. That's good. Special nobodies that recently got involved in the Veteran Suicide Prevention Program. Again, another group of people who have given so much and they are struggling with so much, and very few really can recognize that. So in whatever circle or sphere of influence you are, please, ma'am, please, sir, be kind to one another. And with that said, don't forget, top of the hour, we've got a watch along. SmackDown is going to be amazing tonight. You do not want to miss it. So shout out to everybody. Come back, hang with Honey. Let's get our live reactions in. And until next time, this has been WWT Live as part of Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet. Peace.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms, like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpod.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.